What's up, everybody? It's shameless plug time. So thanks for checking out the podcast, Going Full Nerd. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe everywhere possible. So look for Going Full Nerd on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, goingfullnerd.com, and my Twitter handle, ONYXXX1969. You can also listen to the audio version on its home, Anchor.fm, but also on Pandora, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you consume your podcast listening pleasure. Hey guys, let's get on with the show. Okay, I'm here. Every message. What's going on? Oh my goodness, it always happens. I don't know. What's going on. It says YouTube is not what? Just see it in video. You know what? It's getting enough. So what's happening, everybody? It's your boy. Yes, I'm back. And let me go ahead and fill this in. All right, the music is done. So what's happening, everybody? It's your boy. This is season 10. Season 10 of Going Full Nerd. You know, hey, 10 years of Going Full Nerd business. And what am I trying to do right now? Well, I am actually trying to, I'm not going to say catch up. I'm going to say give you what I owe. Pay what I owe. In the words of Riley Freeman from the Boondocks. Pay what you owe, Santa. Pay what you owe. So as we crack open the signature adult beverage, and we get on to talking, as you can see, today's subject is Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, the end of the DC Extended Universe or DC Cinematic Universe, basically pre-James Gunn, getting rid of all that. This is the very last one with your boy Jason, I'm shirtless, Momoa, and all that good stuff. So it is what it is at that point. It is what it is. I normally would have put on like my Aquaman hat and all that good stuff, but that's okay. I'm not even gonna do that. I'm not even gonna do that right now. That's just neither here nor there. We're gonna lay the DCEU to rest right now. Now, here's the thing. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. This movie, is it bad? No, it's not bad. This movie, is it good? Well, it's a movie. And that's all I really got to say to it. You know, I really, really cannot stand the fact that when I talk about Warner Brothers and DC comic book movies, that I never can say anything good. And it hurts me. It pains me to say this. Now, I've talked to a couple of friends of mine. Oh, man, Aquaman wasn't that bad. No, it isn't bad. But it isn't all that great. You can see inside Aquaman all of the legal troubles that it has had. And when I say all the legal troubles it has, let's talk elephant in the room, Amber Heard. Okay? Amber Heard had a rough relationship with Johnny Depp, all in court. And because of that, she lost revenue. She got her role in Aquaman cut back. And it's like, when you get that stuff cut back, and what I'm going to go ahead and say, let's talk, to 11 minutes in a 2-hour movie. 11 minutes in a 2-hour movie. That can't bode well. That cannot sit right with anybody. So let's be silent for a second. Let's be silent for just 1 second. Lost revenue. And in being silent for that 1 second, she could get in the movie, but yet Jonathan Majors He's completely canceled, and people are roasting that dude because he's got an interview coming up on Good Morning America that they say is pulling vibes from The Boys, The Deep. I mean, it's just way too much for me, way too much for this going on. But I digress. I don't want to sound like I'm jumping in here, sipping cognac on the leather couch, outing all of the issues and problems in Warner Brothers movies like my name is Katt Williams. You know, that I mean, I'm not trying to sit here like that. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be that guy. Mm. But in that aspect, it is what it is. There's no words for it. There's no words for it. So let's talk about the premise of this movie. This movie, it actually starts off, and I'm going to go ahead and say, you know how the old school hood movies start, where it's like you see a situation is like, hi, you know what brought me to this moment? Well, let me rewind and tell you. And that's how it feels. Like he's narrating from the beginning. Hey, I'm a family man. I've had a wife, had a kid. I'm the king of Atlantis. Fought this guy, fought that guy. I think I sounded a little bit like Jason Momoa there. That's crazy. Well, but here's the deal. It is so unconnected or uncharacteristic of any of the, what's the best way for me to say it? So uncharacteristic of any of um the other person of the other portrayals. He was a drunk in the Flash. Um, he was, you know, just gun ho in Justice League, both versions. Surfer bro superhero, and so to get this, and then I feel we also had a waste of other characters, such as Mara's father, even though her role was reduced. Let's reduce that. Mara's father. Yeah, okay, I get it. I get it. Dolph Lundgren was playing that. You don't want to give Dolph Lundgren too much dialogue, that type of thing. I get you. I get you. But then, you know, you definitely got William Dafoe written out of it. He's dead, in the movie and all that. Oh, spoilers if you haven't seen it, or it doesn't really matter. But the thing about it is, it ended up being, instead of a continuation or strong point in the mythos, you had some very crude jokes. You had some very, buddy comedy, lowbrow humor mixed with superhero action. I mean, honestly, I get the motivation of the villain, but he's the main villain, but he's not the main villain. Motivation of Black Manta. Yes, back in the original Aquaman, he killed Black Manta's father. We get it. We saw it. Oh, yeah. But the thing about it is, it's like, come on. What the heck? He gets an extreme power up. Why? Because now he's possessed by the Black Trident, by the zombie trident. Yo, what is with zombies, man? I thought we were done with that with Walking Dead, But I digress. The story itself was not coherent enough for me to warrant it to say, hey, this was a great movie. It was good. Hey, sorry to see the DCEU go. That's pretty much the deal with that. Honestly, we have to sit back and say to ourselves, what are we going to do here on out? I can't wait to see what James Gunn does. I can't wait to see Jason Momoa as Lobo, because that's going to be the new thing. Jason Momoa, he's one of the few that kept his job with Warner Brothers, so he's going to be Lobo. Got it. Good. He was more Lobo than Aquaman. They only wanted him for Aquaman because he looked good shirtless, the hair waving in the wind, because you could tell when a character does well You could tell when a character does well that they changed the comic book version. They did not change the comic book version of Aquaman because Jason Momoa did not do a great job being Aquaman. That was a cash grab for to get the female audience. Bottom line up front. Now the key is, what does going full nerd give Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom? Well, here we go. Special effects, decent. Way better than the Flash movie. I mean, I could probably do way better than the Flash movie, but the special effects on Aquaman, pretty good. To me, it wasn't as good as Blue Beetle. I like Blue Beetle, but I did not like, there's a lot of stuff inside of Aquaman that just didn't click on. With all the sea life, sea creatures and all that, okay, I get it. Then you get the baby, Arthur Jr., or whatever you want to call him. That one seemed a little bit, what do they call it? A little stretch. Oh, you can talk to fish like me. Come on now. That was just so corny. My man, Aquaman's father, Boba Fett, was it Mr. Tamua? Oh my gosh. Underplayed. It was like, come on. The elements were just so crazy. Now, everybody's talking about replacing Kang. Get my man that played Black Manta to replace Kang. He tried to put his foot in it. He tried to be completely crazy if you're going to have to replace Kang, which I think you shouldn't have got rid of Jonathan Majors for a misdemeanor, but that's a whole different story. Yeah, violence, especially putting your hands on a lady, that's completely wrong, but it was a misdemeanor. To me, it was one of those things where you could have gave that Joker a lot of community service. You can make him give up so much money because he's a rich dude. You can give up money as long as he's working. He ain't working. He's just a regular dude. And what do we get out of it? We don't. The world doesn't get a lesson from it. I'd have hit him in his pocketbook. But get that money going over to a good cause. But that's just me. Never mind. I digress. It is what it is. But anyway, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. It is only going to get a 2.5 out of 5. I just can't see me giving it a 3 up the middle. I was disappointed. The fight scenes kind of cool. The buddy cop stuff between Orm and Aquaman. The jokes. The after credit scene was utterly disgusting, especially since I went to a theater where I eat food and it's dark. So that just kind of messed me up. And, it's like, well, rest in peace, DCEU. You were fun while it lasted, ripping you. Now let's get on to the good stuff. I mean, January 9th, I'm going to get another DC Comics or Warner Brothers animation, which is going to be great. That's going to be good. Candyman becomes Nah, yeah, that would be something. That would be something. But, it becomes one of those things. It's just so much of a double standard between movie studios, between how people do, and maybe because I look at a thing, always give a person a second chance, and handle it from there. But like I say, he makes millions of dollars from these movies. I'd have hit him in the wallet and not let him lose his. I was like, hey, you know what? This won't be on your record, but we're going to need $3 or $4 million in support of, battered women. You know what I mean? Or battered spouses or, abuse cases. And you're going to have to do some community service and some free PSAs, talking about how bad that is. You could do that and have him keep his job. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's me. I mean, Amber Heard, they hit her for like $1 million. And she gets to, still go to work. I mean, and she crapped on a dude's bed. Go figure. Man, sometimes, it just don't seem fair. It just don't seem equitable. Is that the best way? I don't know. Maybe it's me. But then the other biggest news, I mean, I know I waited late to get this to get the Aquaman review out, but man, 2024 has got off to a hell of a start, man. Hell of a start. And that is Katt Williams going off on everybody. I'm surprised Katt Williams ain't go off on me. Well, here goes the thing. I've been watching a few things. Hey, just remember, in between these stories, there's going to be some truth. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not inside Hollywood. Nobody's offered me $1 million role to put on a dress, and I ain't putting on no dress. And I guess that's why my YouTube channel is at its all-time low. But guess what? It is what it is. But, you know, these stories are coming up more and more. We write Katt Williams, as crazy. We write Orlando Brown off as crazy. We see these stars that come and talk this stuff up. They're on drugs. They're crazy. But here's the problem I'm having. All of these stories seem vaguely similar. And that is what makes me wonder. I wonder if the truth is ever going to come out about any of this stuff. But he's a comedian. His job is to make up stories that are hilarious. His job is to bring up stories based in truth or based in common everyday occurrences to make us laugh. So when he comes and talks about a story that's not humorous, wow, makes me wonder. Makes me wonder real heavy. But, you know, it is what it is. I'm like, you know, you just don't know. And yes, I'm peeping the scores. Dallas is killing Washington, and New York is killing the Eagles. Too little, too late. That's all I'm going to say, but I appreciate the update. Oh, my goodness. So what do we got to look forward to in 2024? I did put the Hoe in the Holiday special last week. It was all good. You know. Well, here's the thing. Hollywood is recycling stories. But here's the thing about recycling stories. These same old stories, when you listen to the Katt Williams interview, these same old stories all have a dark turn on how these people got the jobs. If you think about it, you know, here goes my line. I mean, it's not far-fetched, especially with the internet nowadays. Things are coming out more and more and more about the impropriety of these people that have been making all this entertainment stuff, making all this money. I mean, back in my day pre-internet, you know, you heard the rumors about Michael Jackson. You know, in the beginnings of the internet, you learned about what R. Kelly was doing. But then now you got people going back. You hear about what Bill Cosby was doing in the 70s. You look at the OJ scenario and you see something, you think about it a little bit differently nowadays, don't you? Somebody says Chloe's his kid. I can believe that at this point. You know, may not be true. But like I say, all these stories by the comedians, by everyone, is based in some sort of fact. And that scares me. Never, ever, ever will I want to be famous because of those things. But, you know. Now, if we're going to talk about movies, and movies doing well, okay, let's talk. Marvel is actually still doing the same thing they've always done. I'm not going to call it superhero fatigue, but what I'm going to call it is as fans, we're spoiled. As people watching movies, we're spoiled. Same with the Warner Brothers stuff. We have a high expectation. I have a high expectation. I have a real high expectation over Warner Brothers because I honestly, not because of what they put out, but because I grew up loving characters from Warner Brothers DC Comics. I have a high expectation of Marvel because Marvel put out some quality movies during the Infinity Saga and raised the bar. So now, with all of that, I have high expectations. Very high. Now, here's the thing. You're talking about, okay, so looking at the gender swapping, the race swapping, I get it. That's Hollywood trying to be inclusive. I did videos on this maybe during the beginning of the channel. I have to go back in, because I honestly, as a fan, I like my stories and characters to be like what I read in the book. I like it. I like what it was when I read it and enjoyed these storylines in the beginning. And I understand they're trying to adapt it to get to these current audiences to make it more appealing because it's about money. It really is. It's about cash and money. And, you had a time, let's talk Fox X-Men, where they didn't care about what the fans thought. They just did what they could to make it appealing to a wider audience to get money. And they got lucky with a couple of things. They got lucky with Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman is, I can't imagine anybody else playing Wolverine. But they had a miserable failure, with Halle Berry as Storm, in my opinion, that they haven't recovered from. It's hard to give the audience what they want because which audience do you appeal to? There's not many comic book fans out like they used to be. And when I say that, how many people still go to a comic book store and get a book? How many people still like to feel the paper of a comic book in their hand? Heck, how many people are reading books? That's the crazy part about everything. So, we all are into this video and audio media. Hey, you're listening to me on the podcast or watching me on the YouTube podcast. Before, back in the day, we used to write letters into letters columns. But now we can interact and we can do that back and forth. And it's great. I love technology. But has the technology really taken us to a level where we can enjoy things? Us as fans, I don't think we garner enough money to get the studios to do the stories exactly the way we want it. We could get close, but we're not going to get it exactly. People say fan outcry got the Snyder version of the Justice League. No. Warner Brothers had a fully developed film and they figured they could juice it and put that money out there. Honestly, let's be honest with ourselves. Because I don't care what you say. I don't know what marketing department, don't care what marketing department would have said and did whatever. They juice that in order to do it. The writing, yes, the writing is not your traditional comic book writing. But let's go back. Go back and read some of the old comic books. A lot of the old comic books, though we remember these stories fondly, the stories itself were pretty cringy, and they were pretty cringy all the way up into the early 2000s. We're not even going to talk about Green Lantern Kyle Rayner's girlfriend that got stuffed in a refrigerator. Controversial. We're not going to talk about when they had in the Avengers the trial of Yellow Jacket. Why? Because he physically abused the Wasp. And that was due to what? It was due to a misinterpretation from the artist. And that ruined the character of Hank Pym. Crazy, right? Deadpool was created by a guy that doesn't draw feet. And truthfully, if you go back to early Deadpool, comic book wise, in the New Mutants, he was not as popular then. He was not as third wall breaking. He was not as humorous. He was a straight, almost serious assassin. Kind of ruthless. Not the comedic, fun, loving character we know now. And Ryan Reynolds helped that. He hurt Green Lantern, but made a great thing with Deadpool. It's all good. It's all perfect. I don't think they're all trying to cater to nostalgia. The only way I see them catering to nostalgia, honestly, is through the titles to lure comic book fans like us in. Let's go back to Fox X-Men. Their Dark Phoenix saga. Their Lilandra was not an alien. They had no Shi'ar. Okay. Got you. They could have went on. Mystique. I don't know what to call Mystique aside the live stuff. They killed the impossible to kill mutant. The mutant that should be able to adapt to anything to survive, they killed him. How? How do you do that? Comic books couldn't kill him, but they killed him in the movie. In the movie. Wow. I mean, but it is what it is. It is what it is. But, the thing about it is, we're going to watch this stuff regardless. I know I am. And I still like action. Superheroes won't be the only thing. But, it becomes a moment where we need to say, let's get creative. Right now, the best superhero stuff out, live action, and I'm not going to sit here and say Marvel, even though I'm a big Marvel fan. The biggest thing that's out there is what? The independent stuff, The Boys. People love that. Okay? Invincible, the animated. People love that. Hell, I love it. That's the best stuff out right now. And it's only getting better each moment. Because they're parodies. They're clowning what the main companies with the main characters that we care about, the main characters that we like, are doing in their respective books, and they're clowning. What I need is Todd McFarlane to get his ass and make Spawn worth a damn. You know what? They don't ever have to do a live action version of Invincible. They never have to do that for me. Continue to make it a great animated. I can watch animation. Animation is not just for kids. Just saying. That's my thing. I don't think it's a bottom line. Let's go to animation. Get some good animation. Get that animation like they did in What If, which we're going to talk about next week. Get that animation like they did in What If. Give me the storytelling, the R-ratedness, the strength like they did Invincible. And we got a 100% winner right there. I'm sorry. That's it. Take my advice. That's it. But anyway, guys, it's that time for me to cut y'all loose. 30 minutes, top max that I usually try to do. So we don't want to ruin my debut for season 10. But anyway, hey guys, I appreciate y'all popping in. My man Omar, fully geeking out. Great to see y'all. We're coming back again. Season 10. See you next week. We're going to talk a little bit about What If Season 2. We should be talking some about the new Marvel series coming out on Disney Plus and Hulu known as Echo. The Return of Kingpin, maybe a glimpse of Daredevil, and good old Maya Lopez, who made her appearance in the Hawkeye miniseries. They're going to drop all, I believe it's 9 episodes. Wow, I think it's 9. Either 6 or 9. 6 or 9. But they're going to drop all episodes at once on January 9th. But anyway, please, going into 2024, let's go ahead and say it and do it like we always do. If you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. Send it to me. Let me say it for you. And as always, at the end, the number is 202-643-4208. You can go ahead and leave your cases, your comments, your clowning, anything you want to say, and we will address it at the beginning of every episode that we do. Or we may even just do a Ask Onyx. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to do that. Maybe, maybe not. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, peace out, y'all, and I'm out of here. Let's hit that funky outro music and be gone. And then I gotta hit the drop. There you go. That drop is on point. Hey guys, if y'all made it this far and you're watching it as a replay, there should be a subscribe button somewhere over here. Maybe over to this side. There's some videos, suggestions for my channel. This is the first episode of season 10. So please, your ideas, thoughts, and objectives are all good. You know what? I should release the idea. So let's go ahead, and I'm listening to you. Next weekend is What If Season 2. Say it again. What If Season 2. So if you haven't watched What If Season 2, go ahead, get on it, doggone it. Get your questions, get your comments, and let's discuss it then. Peace.
Join us for our live event with Dreamcatchers and NSG. Watch as these